Over the years that I've been running a business, I've read more books than I care to admit on how to run businesses, how to be productive, accounting, pretty much everything you can imagine. What I want to do in this video is distill down my top 3 books that I think every entrepreneur should read. So the first book that I want to talk about is actually quite a famous book, and it's this one here. It's called The 4-Hour Workweek by Ferris. Now this book is pretty cool. It's probably one of my favourite books, but it can be a bit like Marmite, so some people love it and some people hate it. There's kind of some distinct reasons why. Ultimately, what this book is about is running businesses that generate passive income. Passive income being where you build a product that you put out for sale and then it keeps generating income over time without you necessarily having to do anything. Whereas active income is like consulting or contracting, where you go out and you're selling your time for money. So this book is primarily about passive income businesses. And it's also about the idea of automating as many of your business processes as possible so that you don't have to spend too much time maintaining the business. And that's kind of where the idea of the 4-hour work week comes from. It's kind of a way of saying that, if you have a product that's out in the market generating income, then you could literally spend just 4 hours a week just checking in on the running of the business and still be generating money or revenue into that business. Now, of course, realistically, no one's really going to work 4 hours in a week. Well, I certainly wouldn't. I'll be building new products. But the concept is that you have lots of processes in your business that you automate, and that could be via either software automation, or it could be via hiring virtual assistants from less expensive economies to help you out. So that's kind of what this book's about. Now, for me, this is great because my income is very much passive based, so that's kind of the type of business that I'm doing. I've heard some people say they really don't like the book, and kind of when you dig into it, it's because the business they're running does revolve around them selling time for money, which doesn't scale the same way as what a passive income business can. So a lot of the concepts in this book kind of really don't make sense or apply in that scenario, because you're selling your time, say 8 hours in a working day for a set amount of money per day or per hour. So in that case, that kind of business isn't really compatible with what this book's talking about. But if you want to build up a passive income stream via products, be that books, training courses, or software, apps, and anything else, then this book is really quite good to look at. Okay, so the second book I want to talk about is called Company of One by Paul Jarvis. Now, I read this after I started running my business, and I kind of wish I'd read it before, because I think it kind of serves multiple purposes. What this book's about is it's about running a company and not worrying too much about growth. It's like a company of one, just yourself, or maybe a couple of people. So when you typically think about a startup, especially if you're looking at what comes out of Silicon Valley and that type of business, you're kind of pushed into this belief that you need to generate lots of investment, seed investment, angel investment, venture capitalist. Then it's all about growth and growth hacking and trying to get as big as you can and then worrying about revenue later. So that's not what this book's about. This book is about building a business that is big enough just for you, so knowing what it is you actually want to achieve and then making sure that you just keep the business to that level. So if you're thinking of starting a business and you're kind of wondering, do I need to scale, do I need to get big, then this book is very good to read beforehand. I read it afterwards, and for me it kind of helped justify and solidify what I was doing in business. So I personally felt very good after reading it. It kind of helped validate what I was doing, because I don't want to scale. I don't want a huge business. I don't want lots of staff. I hire freelancers occasionally, but I don't want full-time employees. I'm not worried about trying to get my revenue to millions of pounds or dollars per year. That's just not what interests me. For me, I want my business to be big enough to support me and have a big enough buffer that I can weather any lean times. So that's kind of what that book's about. So I really recommend that. So that's Company of One by Paul Jarvis. The last book I want to talk about isn't strictly a business book as such, and it's this book here called Hyperfocus by Chris Bailey. And this is all about kind of productivity and how to get focused in the work that you're doing and become hyper productive. And it's backed up with a lot of science and scientific studies about how our brain works and how we sort of prepare ourselves for focus and the different types of focus states that you can get into. And there's some really good techniques in here. And for me, especially, for me it was kind of important because once you remove that safety net of working for another company and you go to work for yourself, you don't have anyone kind of telling you what to do. So you don't have your boss breathing down your neck, asking you where the report is or when that software feature is going to be finished. So it can be very easy to start procrastinating and not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And kind of this book teaches you how to prepare yourself mentally and physically for doing your best work. So those are the 3 books I recommend. So we have The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferris, excellent book about passive income and how to run a passive income business. Company of One by Paul Jarvis. This is all about appreciating that growth doesn't have to be your main primary goal, and that running a business just for you, just to suit your needs, is fine. You don't have to become the next Silicon Valley giant. That's just not what's important to a lot of people. And then finally, this book by Chris Bailey called Hyperfocus, which is all about how to do your best work and how to be as effective and productive as you possibly can. So I've got links to these books down in the description, so I really do urge you to go and read these 3. So I've read a huge amount of business books, and I think for someone who's just starting out and thinking about running their own business, these 3 books are very good. Now, of course, once I've released my book, The Path to Freedom, then I'll probably redo this video and it'll be my top 4 books, because obviously I'm going to include mine in there. Whereas my book, The Path to Freedom, is about allaying your fears of being an entrepreneur, because not everyone is cut out to have that kind of business brain to just have to jump into running a business. Some people are generally quite worried about it, and it's something that I was as well. So that's kind of where the focus of my book is. It's trying to help you through the process of creating a business. So with that, I hope you go and buy these books and read them, and I hope you enjoy them as much as I did. Thank you.